Hello everybody, Destiny Dragon God here with some Battleborn gameplay. Now for those of you that don't know, the open beta for Battleborn just released. It'll be open for 10 days on PS4 and I think 8 days for Xbox and PC. So if you have the time, check it out. It's actually pretty fun. Anyway, for those of you that don't also know, it is a new IP by Gearbox and 2K Studios, the people that made, Borderlands. So if you like that type of game, and like, I guess, MOBAs, then you'll like this. Anyway, what are we doing today specifically in it? We are talking about one of the characters I played as, which is Oscar Mike, and I'm going to do a little review / thoughts on the character. And I'm going to be doing this for a couple characters, at least the ones I play in-depthly, for the beta at least, and how I feel like they are at the moment, maybe balancing or tweaking issues, or just final thoughts on it. So what I'm going to start off doing is just saying the introduction of the character, then I'm going to go into the skills of the character, because every character has a helix-like skill tree that can be upgraded every mission you do, so that you can basically get the best out of them every time and don't have to feel locked to a character, which I will talk about later in the video. But anyway, and I'll lead back to my final thoughts at the end. So, let's begin. Oscar Mike is a DPS assault-like character, and right out the gate, I was very surprised, I should say, at how versatile he was. So you would basically assume, and you'd be right to assume, that he feels just like a normal first-person shooter character, from like Destiny or Call of Duty, where he burns things down fast, and he is a very shooty focused character, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But there's more to him than that, and I really like the fact that it seems like they put more work into Oscar Mike than what you'd normally think. Going from his just normal abilities, he has an ability to basically cloak himself and make himself go invisible, which can be upgraded to later things. A grenade launcher that can be used to push back or quick hit enemies that are too close or either too far away that you want to put some damage into, or an ordnance drop. They can fire missiles or even a laser later. They can be used to wipe out whole sweeps of enemies or troops coming your way. And all of these can also be converted into almost a stealth mechanic of him, which we'll talk about later as well in my thoughts. But getting into his abilities strictly here, let's talk about his helix here. His base ability is Impact Trigger and Sneak Attack. Impact Trigger makes the grenade launcher he fires detonate on whatever target you hit it with. And the other one allows you to use your stealth ability to basically either attack straight out of it or do another type of ability right out of it where you do more damage. It's 20% more and it is noticeable. The second ability is his Frag Cinderary Grenade and Nades on Nades. One of them will make 360 damage over time and it's like a fire effect. And the other one spawns 5 Child Grenades, which do 20% of the damage on detonation. Next are 2 scopes, Red Dot Sight and the normal scope. The normal scope is a long-range scope, but you cannot run with it, and it is very hard to manage with if you're trying to run and gun. However, the Red Dot Sight, if you are trying to run and gun, is perfect, and I will talk about that also later. Fourth ability is Back in a Jiff and Tactical Espionage. Back in a Jiff, while activating your stealth generator, makes your shield recharge immediately, and Tactical Espionage allows your movement speed to improve once you activate your shield. Up next are Hollow Point Round and Double Tap. Hollow Point Round allows all tactical rounds fired from your gun to penetrate enemy shields, and the percentage is 25%. Double Tap allows each magazine of the gun to be improved by 15, so you get 15 more bullets basically. Number 6 is Far-Flung Frags and Steady Shields. Far-Flung Frags, I'm going to say that one 3 times fast, jeez. Increases the range of your grenades, and Stealthy Shields increases your shield generation while your stealth drive is activated. Agility Training and Disruption Rounds. Agility Training increases your base movement speed by 9%, and Disruption Rounds by 25% on shield penetration. Key to note, however, that using your character a certain amount of times will allow you to get mutations, which was that green circle above, that will allow you to get different special abilities, that one being 18% damage up. The 8th ability, Fragpocalypse, boosts your frag grenade damage by 30 base, and Embiggened Boom increases the effective range, not the explosive radius, of your frag grenades. Stealth Savings and Operation Sneaky Ghost are your 9th skills. Deactivating your stealth generator early refunds a portion of your cooldown, which means anytime you deactivate your stealth by either ability or something else, you get a decreased cooldown by 40%, and Operation Sneaky Ghost will increase the maximum stealth generation time. A Holy Crap Space Lasers and Holy Crap Concussive Strike are your 10th abilities and final ones. The laser replaces your missile barrage by a one laser guided laser, of course, and does smaller damage but penetrates through all structures, while the other one just makes a concussive blast that basically slows enemies down. I mean, really, no one goes with that. We all know what everyone goes with, the concussive, the super cool freaking laser, which I'll show off later. But anyway, getting on to my thoughts. So, I will just say, for the way I ran this character the first time versus the time you're seeing right now, I tried to go for a more marksman style role. I think we just lagged there, but anyway, I went for a more marksman type role, and I liked it a lot, but I prefer the more run and gun style for this character, and I probably will continue with that just because the scope really doesn't, like the scope really doesn't improve the marksmanship that much, and the red dot actually does a sufficient amount without me having to get too close, really. I mean, it's pretty good scope as is. You don't really need the scope, and for the benefits that it has of you being able to quickly move and also still fire are a lot better than the scope having to narrowly down and fire. And for the recoil of this gun, there is barely any, so I really wouldn't worry about recoil management if you're trying to say, like, I might want to get the scope because I can handle the recoil better. No, the scope is, in my opinion, objectively worse. There's no reason to really use it over the red dot. The red dot has a really good cone of fire, has a really good marksmanship, and for the gun having 0 to no recoil at all, well, I mean, that's the same thing, but little to no recoil at all, there is really no reason to limit yourself to having a decreased movement speed when you could just still marksman pretty much from a far away range. I'll show later, I just burned something down pretty much because I had the red dot, and it was a pretty far distance away, a distance you'd normally not think the red dot should be able to shoot from, and it was fine. I'm not saying there's really a problem with the red dot. In fact, I really like it. I just wish the scope didn't hinder you as much. I would actually be more inclined to use it if I could have maybe some more damage or penetration because I'm using the scope. I can see more of the target. Maybe if they entice it a little bit more like that, I'd probably use it. But at least to me right now, there's no reason to use the scope. At least in the 2 levels they've shown. I can see everything I need to see with the red dot, and it doesn't obscure my vision as much as the scope does. So that's just me. And it's coming from a guy that uses scopes over anything generally in a game, like the longer range ones, just because. Now, one of the other things I like about Oscar Mike is his, like I said, versatility. He is so good at, if I need to basically, I'll just say an example here. So there was a moment when I was playing, we were fighting against Jeff, I think, where we were just getting shelled from the front, and I basically used my cloak ability to go around him and just hit him in the back and would make him, like, not glitch out, but he couldn't focus on me and the others at once with his main gun, and I could just keep hitting him with ordnance in the back. Or if I needed to, I could run away and then hit all these smaller minions with ordnance or a grenade, and then run away with my cloak again, because the cloak can recharge really fast. A lot of people underestimate how fast that cloak charges, but it's enough that you can get out of trouble, hit them, generally get away in a certain time, and then use it again to get even farther away, which is really cool. And it actually puts Oscar Mike in a more of a stealth role than more of an assault role, which I really like, because as stealthy, as horrible actually at stealth as I am, it was really easy to fit in with Oscar Mike. I didn't feel like I was having to try too much, but at the same time, I didn't feel like it was easy to do. If you mess up with the cloak, you can obviously put yourself in a horrible situation, and you'll generally be by yourself. But if you use the cloak right, you can end up with some pretty cool and pretty big damage gains. That being said, that's probably going to do it really for my thoughts on Oscar Mike. The only other thing I might want to touch on is how I compared it to, how I compared him especially to like a Call of Duty or a more of a like Battlefield. I don't think I said Battlefield, but more of a normal shooter, generic shooter type character. And what I meant by that wasn't anything bad necessarily. What I meant was more of he fits into a role of being very similar to those characters, not necessarily the same, but if you are coming from a game like Destiny, like Call of Duty, like any normal shooter, he is a very easy character to get used to. He's very versatile. He's, like I said, easy to use, and he's just comparable to those characters in a gameplay standpoint. So what I mean is, if you're coming back from one of those games, this guy would be a very good first character to use. I think I said that earlier, but just reiterating the point. In fact, I'd actually compare this game in particular more to something like a normal MOBA, I guess, like Overwatch, but they are very different. Completely different games. I just feel like when I look at them, I'm like, huh, yeah. PvP at least is like Overwatch. Yeah, okay. But anyway, enough of that. Like I said, this guy is a very versatile, overall good character to use, or good starting out character, and he can be used in many applications, and I would advise using him at any times. Small fixes like with the scope, red dot, but other than that, he's perfect right now and ready to be used by anybody. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I know I rambled on that last part a bit, but I'd like to just know, what do you think I could work on in these types of videos? Any suggestions on which character I should try to do next, or what game you'd like to see next? I know, obviously, I'm going to be doing Dark Souls 3 when that comes out, but other than that, what other things would you like to see? I think I'll play till I get Caldarius and then probably stop there. Hopefully before Dark Souls hits, because I don't know how bad my schedule's going to get after that game hits. But, anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the content, and or want to check out the channel. You can subscribe or just check it out. You don't really need to subscribe. I'm not going to force you. No one's got a gun to your head. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.